Hey folks, Data from the future here, and we are here to talk about an optional set of routes that you don't have to go to at all if you don't want to. And really, you don't have much of a real reason to go at this point in the game, because the only interesting part of it doesn't unlock until you beat the Elite Four, or reasonably, unless you do a little bit of trickery. But it is interesting in that it's basically the only water area of the game. There is a bit of water on the way to the 6th gym, but that's pretty darn minor. And since we just got Surf, may as well go after this, show it off. And as water routes go, it's not great, it's not terrible. Basically, the thing about water routes is that at their very core, they're basically an entire route of grass, of tall grass, because you can run into a Pokémon at any time, in any location, unless you're on an island. So, basically, it's a bunch of flat terrain, where you can get attacked at any time, and that doesn't really look good on paper, and unfortunately that's basically what this route is. But it can be done worse, and it is done worse in the 3rd generation games, where it's just huge wide open ocean and you have nothing to navigate by, so you'll often go around lost, moving back and forth, and wasting a lot more time, repels, running to a lot of Pokemon. And that's how you do a water route poorly. Doing a water route well is also done in the 3rd generation games. That is when you add some sort of traversal gimmick or puzzle or something of interest. I'm thinking of the water currents that are on the route leading to Pacific-Log, or away from Pacific-Log, rather. Because that's one where you have to actually think things through, try things out. And even better is the time in the cave leading up to the big encounter with the big bad dude, where basically it's a puzzle and you keep retrying until you figure out the right current route. And I like that. That's a good way to do water routes, because it makes it actually a puzzle. Whereas this is just going along. And waterfalls and whirlpools don't really do much either, because they're basically use a move here to continue, and that's pretty boring. But they add a little bit of interest compared to a bunch of water and some trainers swimming around. Kind of the most interesting thing about the trainers on water routes is finding ways to avoid them. Because for the most part, in most areas of the game, trainers are stationary and you just have to ninja behind them if you want to avoid them. But swimmers, a lot of the time, will move around, do laps, go back and forth, or do circles, and finding ways to avoid them can be somewhat almost fun in its own right. Not really doing that here, because I'm supposed to fight every trainer, because I'm silly like that. But yeah, that's about how interesting swimmers can get. Anyway, this is the land mass that you will reach after doing some surfing. And like I said, the most interesting part of it isn't unlocked at this point, but I will go into explanation once we reach it, once we beat down this guy. As you can see, the levels here are basically so that you can come here as soon as you get Surf and get a few levels. And I feel like a broken record, but I really would have liked this to be a higher level area, so that if you feel that you're low on level, or that you need more experience, this is an optional area to come train. Or if you feel you're doing well on experience, but you just want to come here for completion's sake, it won't boost you up too much and make you overpowered. So I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want to have it both ways. But I want higher levels, basically, is what I'm saying, for basically every area of the game. I say that because Starsky is double the level of everything. But, I don't know, it's just kind of a pretty easy game, to be honest. Oh, by the way, that ace trainer is named Jake. My name's Jake. Howdy, what's up? You're a cool dude. I don't know if people knew my real name at this point in the space-time continuum, but Yeah, now you know, and knowing's half the battle. Anyway, that building you saw there is the entrance to the PAL Park. And the PAL Park is basically the only thing of interest here. It allows you to transfer Pokemon from 3rd generation Game Boy Advance games to this game. And unfortunately, the way things are programmed, you can't transfer from 1st or 2nd generation games, and unfortunately you can't get from 1st or 2nd to 3rd generation games, so again, locked out, but oh wells. I do like that you can effectively get Pokemon from a 3rd generation game to a 5th generation game at this point. They haven't modified the program too much, so you can still do that. Now, the PAL Park, for most people, will unlock once they beat the Elite Four, because the champion has a number of Pokemon that no other Pokemon trainer has. But if you lose against the champion, like I did, having seen all her Pokemon, then you will actually complete the National Dex, and that is the requirement for unlocking the PAL Park, is seeing all the Pokemon in the National Dex. So, first time I played the game, I lost against Cynthia, and I'm like, screw this. Oh, by the way, Cynthia's the champion, I don't know if you knew that. I lost against Cynthia, and I'd seen all the Pokemon, I unlocked the PAL Park, and I'm like, well, screw that, I'm gonna bring some guys over from Leaf Green and come beat up the Elite Four here. So I brought in Thor, my Zapdos, and like my Mewtwo, and came in and basically used my Leaf Green team to beat the Elite Four of this game. And is it cheap? Absolutely. Was it a little disrespectful to my team? Absolutely. Am I ashamed of it? Absolutely. But that's my story, and I'm not going to take it back. Anyway, that takes care of those water routes. Stock up on items, and we will move on to relevant and important things next time. So, I will see you guys next time.